quick look at the NFL playoff picture. This right now is the AFC. The Ravens hold the 1 seed. If they win this weekend, they will be the 1 seed in the AFC. The Dolphins 2, the Chiefs 3, the Jaguars 4. The Browns would go play the Jags. The Bills would go play the Chiefs, and the Colts would go play the Dolphins if they started today. Jerry, what changes do you see happening in this AFC playoff picture, if any?
Mm, it's hard. I don't. I could see the Jags falling out of that division title spot, and either the Colts or Texans. I could see the Colts Texans game at the end of the year being for the division. Sorry, Jason, but the Jags just aren't playing well right now, man. The Trevor Lawrence is not Trevor Lawrence right now, and you're past the point of sitting him because you're playing week by week. You have to win every week now, so you can't sit your starter. So they're gonna play him. He's gonna be injured. He's gonna look like crap. And so that week 18 game between the Colts and Texans is gonna be for the division. I'm not saying they don't make the playoffs, but they ain't winning the division. There ain't no way.
Bet.
Bet, he said. Bet.
Very easy games. Two very easy games.
Who do you guys have? You
Uh-huh.
got the Panthers and then the
And then the
Titans.
Titans.
I thought the Bengals were supposed to be an easy game a couple weeks ago too.
Yeah, but
No
nobody
Joe
has. No one has the GOAT, Jake Browning, playing for him, right?
True. Very true.
Come on, man.
Let's flip over to the NFC for the playoff picture on that side. We have the 49ers at the 1 seed, the Eagles 2, Lions 3, Buccaneers 4. Cowboys would be going to play the Buccaneers. The Rams would be going to play the Lions, and the Seahawks would be traveling to Philadelphia to play the Eagles if the playoffs were to start today. Jason, what changes do you see happening in the NFC playoff picture, if any?
Nada. This
Nada,
is
this is
exactly. This is exactly what I thought it was going to be. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is what I said last week, right?
a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I'm
A
pretty
couple
sure it
weeks ago.
is.
Yeah. Yep. This is my picture, and I'm sticking to it.
What do the Bears need to make the playoffs? They're sitting
A
at 6 and
lot of
9.
things.
Wait,
They
yeah.
need
What?
a lot of things.
I saw they weren't eliminated, and I didn't think that they had a chance to get in, but obviously they still do. So
It's
So the
basically everyone above them in that wild card spot has to lose. Besides the Cowboys, doesn't matter. But the Rams and Seahawks, um, yeah, basically have to lose out. I think,
mhm.
and then the Packers. I don't know. It's like a wild scenario. It's pretty ridiculous, but technically they aren't eliminated, which is I guess that's what we're going off these days.
I'm rooting
But
for it. Let's go Bears.
the Bears.
Bears.
Um, Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, Jason. I think this is probably what's going to stand. I think the only thing that could happen is the Packers find a way to slide into that 7 seed, depending on how well the Seahawks do to end the season. I think the Rams are probably a lock, and then everyone else is pretty, I think, set in there. I think the Saints could make a run if the Buccaneers don't take care of business this weekend. But that's the NFC playoff picture. It'll be fun watching it come down the stretch here. Lots and lots of good games coming up. But let's move on to our most recurring segment, and we got a little bit of a change this week. We're moving on to our NFL. Oh, sorry, I thought we were going on to power rankings. I was
Oh,
mistaken.
I
We're
apologize.
actually going to the NFL playoff clinching scenarios. This is what happens when the Google Doc running the show isn't updated by the guy that moderates the show. So definitely on me this time, fellas.
It
Let's
is what it is.
let's talk a little bit about playoff clinching scenarios in the AFC. The Ravens and Dolphins have both clinched um, the playoffs, and there are one, two, uh, three, four teams that could clinch the playoffs this weekend. The easiest is the Cleveland Browns. They win, they're in. Or if Pittsburgh loses, Buffalo loses, Jacksonville loses, or Houston and Indianapolis loses. So if any of those things happen, Cleveland's in. The Jaguars, Jason, what do the Jaguars need in order to clinch this weekend?
Jesus, I'm just
Jesus, Jesus to come down from heaven above.
and just bless the shoulder, the brain, and the ankle of Trevor Lawrence, please, please. All right, what we really do need is Jacksonville clinches playoff berth and the AFC South Division title with a win in Indianapolis and a Houston loss.
Gotcha. So that's not outside of the realm of possibility. That could happen.
That could happen. Who do the Colts and
The Colts play the Raiders and the Texans play the Titans. So,
one of those things will happen?
so it's not impossible.
It's not impossible. Very
Jerry,
unlikely.
Buffalo, what do they need? They have like this
They have a lot.
long
oh my gosh.
laundry list.
All right.
It's like 14 different things.
Let me
Speed run
oh
this.
my gosh. All right. Buffalo. All right. 5 scenarios where Buffalo wins and they get in. This is coupled with Pittsburgh losing or tying, Cincinnati losing or tying, Jacksonville losing or tying, Houston and Indianapolis losing or tying. All right, and then you have Cincy losing or tying with Jacksonville losing or tying, Houston plus Indy losing or tying, and then a bunch of scenarios where Buffalo ties. I'm not even going to get into that because they're not going to tie.
Let's just say there's 14 scenarios.
Yeah, holy cow.
And none of them are Buffalo wins and they're in. So
Buffalo
Lots
wins
of
plus
crazy-
help. There you
plus
go.
a lot of help. The last one is Kansas City. Kansas City wins the AFC West with a win, or tie, or if Vegas and Denver both lose, which Denver's going to lose because who are they starting, Jerry?
Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham. You know,
So sad.
the Raiders started Jarrett Stidham last year for the same exact reason. The last 2 games, they benched Derek Carr because they didn't want to pay him because of injury insurance.
Something
Yep.
about paying people there in the AFC West. Unbelievable. Moving over to the NFC side, there are 3 playoff clinching scenarios currently clinched already. The Lions, they already won the NFC North. For 49ers, who have already won the NFC West. The Cowboys and the Eagles have both clinched. The NFC East winner will be determined the next couple weeks. But the 3 clinching scenarios, the LA Rams. Jerry, how do the LA Rams get in?
All right, Rams got to win plus a Seattle loss, or Rams win plus tie in the Minnesota Packers game this week. That's weird that that's the only scenario where that happens, but yeah, 2 scenarios for the Rams this week.
And not impossible. A little bit. The first one by far more likely than the second, but
Who does Seattle have
definitely
this
a
week?
possibility. The Steelers. Speaking of Seattle, Jason, how did the Seahawks make the playoffs this week?
The Seahawks make the playoffs, clinches playoff berth with
With
Seattle win. No, they don't need that. Plus a Green Bay and Minnesota tie.
Gotcha. So, wait. So if Seattle wins, if the Rams win, Seattle wins, and Green Bay and Minnesota tie, the NFC playoffs will like be completely set. I think pretty much, with the exception of
Rams win plus. Yeah, so the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
yeah, it would be pretty much set.
Cowboys,
With
Rams,
the exception
Eagles,
of
yeah.
the NFC South, which that comes to the last team. The NFC South can be clinched this weekend by Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a win. If they win, they're in. They've clinched the South. Or a tie and Atlanta losing could clinch. So it's definitely a possibility for Tampa Bay to jump in, and a likelihood, most likely, they're at home for the Saints this week. So will be interesting to see how that goes. Again, all these wild scenarios. You have the Bills with 14 possibilities. You have the people like the Browns and the Buccaneers just to win and you're in. If you win, you're in. You're probably resting your starters. It's going to be fun coming down the stretch. Thanks for watching this video of the Unnamed Sports Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on social media at Unnamed Sports S. Also, be sure to join us live Wednesdays at 7 p.m.